Oh, hello. I finally found out why the stream was so bad. It's because my internet isn't quite good enough to stream in 1080p. So let me just add a title to this video real quick. Advanced Vehicle Rigging and Programming. Voila. So you may have guessed already, this video is going to be about vehicles. Because there's quite a bit of people that asked me to do more stuff about vehicles. So first off, let's boot up 3ds Max, close the launcher. Yep, I know, student license. So just to be sure, do you guys hear me? Yes, good, thanks. Okay, so for this stream, I've prepared you a pretty nice looking BMW. So this PC download Unreal Engine 4 vehicles. That's the one. Awesome. So that's gonna be the vehicle we'll work on today. The only thing I've done to it yet is to attach all the pieces together. Oops. Alright, sorry about that. So yeah, all I did was attach all the pieces that needed to be attached. So for example, the door is now one mesh. And you can see I love this model because the door were modeled properly with the locks and all. And then I attached all the pieces of the steering wheel together. Same for all the needles. And also did that for the wheels and the brakes. So we've got all these meshes, and now the only thing we have to do is create a skeleton and rig all of those meshes onto it, and then we'll be able to import it in the engine. But yeah, still, before we do that, we'll just need to make sure that we're using the right units, which we weren't. Okay, now we're in centimeters. Yep, you can see it down there. So I'll just create a box, again for reference. And it'll need to be, let's say, 35 by 180, which is about the size of the player. And okay, yeah, it is much too big. So uniform scale, select all the meshes, except for the box. And I guess that should be about the right size. Maybe a little bit bigger. Okay, now that should be the right size. Oh, and I'll need to center it again, of course. So I'm just gonna use that line because the pivot isn't in the center for some reason. Just gonna make sure it's really well centered. Just like that. Now you can see the vehicle is facing the x-axis. We're using centimeters. The scale of the vehicle is spot on. And so we're ready to rig. Now, just to make sure we center the vehicle properly, we can use the Y value. So minus 72,947 and 72,947. Yeah. So both wheels are spaced out evenly, so the vehicle is centered perfectly. Awesome. So we can, for now, just freeze that, so that we can't mess with it anymore. Then go into this type, bones, and create a bone. So we'll position this one at 0, 0, 0, because this is going to be our root bone. And set its rotation to 0, 0, 0 as well. I keep clicking the arrow instead of 0. Alright, so that is going to be our bone, which we're going to name B underscore root. Voila. Now we need to control V that to create bone front right wheel. We're gonna use the snap tool. Yeah, whenever you do that, just make sure you have vertex, and in the options, yeah, enable axis constraint. Make sure you have that checked too. And so when you activate it, you can select the center of the wheel like so. Oh, except now the wheel is frozen, so okay, we'll need to unfreeze it, I guess. Now you can select the center of the wheel using a vertex snap, like that. Okay, now we'll paste it for front left wheel. Move it somewhere around there. Paste it again for rear left wheel, and we'll position it using the snap tool again. Yep, like so. And then Control V it again for rear right. Okay. So that is about right. Now get rid of the snap tool. Also get rid of these. Okay, because see that model is really convenient because you have this bit of axle attached on the wheel, so I decided to use that as a pivot point for the front wheels. And so we're going to need to grab the location of that pivot point for the bone as well. So -72. Good. And for the other bone, it'll be the same except in the positive. Something like that. Good. And just for good measure, we're gonna do the same for the rear bones as well. Whoops. Voila. Okay, so that looks about right. So we've got all of our bones here. Now we'll need to select all of the wheel bones and duplicate them for the brakes. So Control V that again. And we're gonna need to rename all of them one by one. So that'll be front left brake. Whoops. That'll be front right brake. And another brake right there. Okay. So we should be done with wheels and brakes. And so right now we have what we had in the previous tutorial I did. And we're gonna add new stuff to that. So if we unhide all, we can now also create bones for the doors, the steering wheels, and all of the needles. So we're just gonna again duplicate the root bone and call it bone right door. Okay, and we're just gonna get it out of the car like that. Duplicate the root bone again for the bone left door and get it out of the car too. Then we're gonna, just to make that a little bit easier, hide everything but the doors and the bones that goes with them. So hide unselected, awesome. Because the pivot point of the doors are placed perfectly as well for them to rotate. You can see the hinges here have been modeled, and so the pivot point of the doors were placed perfectly aligned with those hinges. So we're going to use these pivot points to place our bones. And so we'll need X value, like that, Y value, like that as well, and the Z value. Boom, okay. And we'll basically just do the same for the other one. And where's the bone? Left door. Bone left door. Okay. Good. So we have the bones for the door. Now we just need the steering and the needles. Now, fuel and temperature needles, I don't really see myself using these, but I'm still gonna rig them just to make you happy. And so we'll just select all the needle, the steering wheel, and the root bone, and hide all of the rest. Now again, the pivot point of all of these is placed precisely where they need to rotate around. And so we can use these to place their bones. So duplicate bone steering wheel, SW, and we're just going to use the location of the steering wheel. Something like that. Okay, cool. Now you can see on the rotation that it's already rotated 70 degrees on the X, and so we'll just need to do the same for the bone. On the Y actually, sorry about that. Something like that, yep. And so you can see from the side that this bone here has the same rotation. So when we want to rotate it around the x-axis to make the steering wheel steer, we're gonna have to use the bone space location instead of the world space location. So that's why we want it to have the same angle. So now that our bone is placed properly, we can get rid of these two. So, hide selection, and we'll have to do the exact same thing for the 4 needles as well. Like that. Now this is going to be a little long and tedious, but as soon as we're done placing the bones, this is all gonna go much faster. Okay, so we now have that bone placed about properly. That's gonna be bone for the gas, yes. So bone, we're just gonna name it G for gas. And we're gonna have to give it the right rotation as well. Which will be there again, 70 minus 70, like so. Then minus 40. Nope. Good, okay. Yeah, that's not gonna do anything. Yeah, that's more like it. Good. So that should give us control over that needle. Wait, I don't quite think this is right. What I might actually do is grab the needle itself. Okay, good. That's better. Now I can do that here as well. Okay, yeah, that looks much better. Cool. So we'll do that with all of them. Good. And so we need more bones. Control V. The next one will be for the speed, so just bone underscore speed. Like that. Okay, then Control V. The other one will be for RPM. So I'm assuming that the only location that will change is the Y. Hopefully that's right. Certainly looks like it, yep. Okay, and then Control V for bone temperature. Okay. Control C, V, Control C, V. Okay, good. Now again, just for good measure, I'm gonna have these pointing up. So 180. And 70. Like so. Okay. So if I hit unhide all, we should see all the needles at their right